Here's another thing I have a problem with, and that would be using different materials, concrete and some pavers. And you can see that the pavers here have some type of a mortar in between them. So I'm sure this was all supposed to be a continuous walkway. This nice line right here, I'm sure that's what this looked like at one time. But if you use different materials, then you could be dealing with problems like these, and they are going to require more maintenance. If this was all concrete, then you're not going to have this problem here, and you're not going to have this. You can actually see where there is a gap. You don't see a gap between these right here. And I would imagine at one time you didn't see a gap between this. This gap right here probably wasn't there because it looked more like the gaps here. And I'm throwing that out there. Who knows? Could have always been like that. But you can see here where the concrete step here is actually straight, and this actually looks like it's dipping down. That's not uncommon for something like this. So my suggestion is, unless you don't want to get into a maintenance problem, you don't want to be pulling this stuff out and repairing it in the future, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to start with something that's going to give you less grief in the long run. I mean, I hate to say it, but I would imagine if they called me out to take a look, how can we fix this right here? I would tell them, hey, let's take this out and what? Pour some concrete in here, and you'd probably do the same thing. So I'm just throwing it out there. Maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. It's all around us. If you're not willing to make it, you're not willing to do it, you don't want to spend any extra money on stuff like this, then try to design something that's going to last for a long time at the very beginning. Now, there is one more thing I want to point out about these pavers. And it is the fact that grass, weeds, plants, you name it, can actually grow in between these things if there are any gaps or cracks over time. And trust me, most of this stuff right here over time has plenty of gaps that will allow anything to grow into. So I don't want to say anything. Obviously, we don't see a eucalyptus tree here. Another thing I'd like to point out, I've always got suggestions. What can I say? They pop into my noodle there every once in a while. You know, something like this is going to require a lot of chemical weed killers over time. You know, it's going to be another thing that you're going to be saturating into all these bad chemicals that we don't want to drink are actually going to work their way into our water eventually. So something else to think about. Stick with one thing and build something that's going to last right off the bat. That way you don't have to worry about spending a lot of extra time maintaining it in the future.